Hey you guys, so it's Keoshia and I'm back for another video. So today I'm going to tell you the guaranteed ways to get through the airport faster. As you guys know, it is summertime. Everybody is going to be traveling. The airports are going to be super busy with people flying in, people flying out, and so you want your process to getting through the airport to be as seamless and as less complicated as possible. So in today's video, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to get through the airport a lot faster. So let's just get into the video. The first thing we're going to talk about is the things you can do before you leave your home that will help you get through the airport faster. So the first thing is the 311 rule. If you don't know what this is, it's the rule on the TSA website where you can have 3.4 ounces of liquid on the plane in a 1 quart container and 1 container per person. So make sure anything that you have that has liquid like shampoo, conditioner, sprays, lotions, toothpaste, anything that is liquid or a paste needs to be 3.4 ounces or less, and it needs to all fit in a 1 quart bag. So you need to really consolidate everything that you're bringing onto the plane. Just think about, you only need this stuff in case your bag is delayed or they lose your bag. So you need to have things that you can freshen up, brush your teeth, make sure you can get yourself together until they find your bag and deliver it to you, or if your bag just gets completely lost. So that's the thing you can do before you leave the house to make sure your bag has the appropriate size liquids in it. Next, you need to go ahead and check in online. This is very ideal if you're not checking a bag and you're just bringing a carry-on. This way you can go ahead and have everything done. You have your boarding pass, you've picked out your seats and things like that. Now, I have found that when you do this online and you go through and you're checking a bag, sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. Sometimes they'll still give you another boarding pass. They still have to recheck you in. So it just depends on what's going on at the airport. But if you are definitely taking a carry-on and you're not checking a bag, this is the best thing to do. So the next thing you need to do is have all of your required documents accessible. Don't be that person in line at the airport digging through their bag, digging through their tote, digging through their purse, trying to find every last little thing. Your ID's over here, your boarding pass is over here. You are holding up the line. It frustrates everybody behind you. You need to have it where you can just pull the stuff out, hand it to the person, and go ahead about your business. I like to keep my stuff in what I call a passport wallet. And in here, they have a front pocket where you can put your boarding pass. You can open it up and it will have your passport in there, and then you can have your ID in here, and that way you can have it. It has a strap on it, so I can just have it around my wrist, so when I meet up with the person, I can just unzip it, open it up, show them everything that they need to see, put it back in here so that I don't lose it, then go about proceeding to my flight. So next, you need to make sure you pack everything you don't need away. Anything that you will not need on the plane or in the car, pack it away, have it all packed up, so when you get to the airport, you don't have to worry about scrambling, trying to put things inside of a bag and all this kind of stuff. So have everything completely packed and in its place and in order before you leave the house. So the last thing you need to do before you leave your house is know where to go. Know where your terminal is, know where the person needs to drop you off, know where you need to check your bag, know which line you need to stand in. That way you won't get confused and stand in the wrong line or get dropped off way down at the other end of the airport and your plane and your terminal is at another end of the airport. So make sure you know where you're supposed to go. Right, so now you're at the airport, so what can you do to make it super simple now that you're there? So the first thing you need to do is make sure you find the less busy security line. So make sure you just look around and see if, one line may be longer than the other one line may be moving faster than the other one. Just take a few minutes to pay attention to which line you may want to get in, but make sure that the line you get in is the line you can use to assess the terminal that you need to get to, because sometimes you may get in a line and it's only for these terminals over here. So make sure you're actually able to assess the terminal where your flight is going to be taken off of before you go through the TSA line. But also just take a few minutes, look around, see which line is moving faster, see who looks frustrated, and don't go in that line. So like I said in the first segment, go ahead and have all your documents ready. So before you get in line, go ahead, if you're not using one of these wallets, like I said, and take out your passport, your ID, and your boarding ticket thing, and or right before you get to the line, because like I said, you do not want to be that person who's frustrating everybody because you have to dig through your purse and find everything that you need. Go ahead and get it out and be prepared. Or before you go through the line is weigh your bag. A lot of airports have scales installed that you can go ahead and weigh your bag before you start the check-in of your bag process. So therefore, if your bag is overweight, you can go ahead and shift things around, take things out, and make sure that your bag meets the weight requirements. And therefore, when you start checking in and your bag is overweight, people behind you don't have to wait for you to take things out of your bag and put it over here and put it over there, so you won't be holding up the line. Right, so now you're at security. So now at security, the only thing you really can do at security is just check what you have on. If you know you have on anything that has to be removed and put into the buckets, right before you get to your turn in line, go ahead and start collecting like your iPads, your laptops, have everything that is TS approved with like the liquids on top of your carry-on, so that way you can just open your carry-on, take out the quart bag and put it in the little bucket or whatever. So just anything you have to take off, if you have like on metal objects like a belt, or your shoes have metal on them, or your shoes, because I think they just make you take your shoes off regardless. And make sure you just have an inventory of everything you will need to take off, therefore you can take it off quickly, put it in the bucket, go through the line, and then pick everything back up. All right, so we've made it through security. So now you need to check your boarding status for your flight. Unless you're super early for your flight, then this may not be something you have to do. But if you're like right within 30-40 minutes of your flight or less, then you might want to check the status of the boarding, because sometimes they'll go ahead and board early if they have enough people checked in, or if, you know, they check the plane and everything seems okay and they can go ahead and start boarding. So make sure you know the boarding status of your flight, so you're not around here trying to go get Chick-fil-A or go get snacks and moseying around because you think you have enough time, when in actuality they're boarding for your flight. So go ahead and check that status to make sure you don't miss your flight. So now that I know about the status of the flight, the next thing I like to do is go ahead and go straight to my gate. The reason I like to do this is because if it's an unfamiliar airport and I don't necessarily know where I'm going, I like to go ahead and get to my gate so I know where my gate is. I can access anything that's going on, like they may be making announcements, there may be a lot of people, they may be boarding, whatever the case may be. And once I know exactly where my gate is, then I will check out my surroundings for like the bathrooms, the restaurants, ATMs, anything that I think I may or may not need. So the last thing is 2 things that you can have with you just in case there is some problems with your flight, like your flight is delayed or canceled. Go ahead and have your airline's flight 1-800 number in your phone program, so that you don't have to scramble around, Google, look for it. Go ahead and have it programmed inside of your phone. That way you can go ahead and hit the speed dial and call them if you have any problems with your flight, and they'll be able to help you a little bit quicker. The next thing is an app called TripIt. Go ahead and download that app. What it is you can put all your flight information in there, and it will notify you sometimes, or all the time, or whenever there's a problem about when there's something going on with your flight. You can go ahead and see if it's canceled. It will give you options on other flights that you can take. Therefore, you won't have to maybe like spend the night in the airport or find a hotel or be stranded. So go ahead and download an app called TripIt. It's really good. I've used it all the time. I think you'll like it. But there's also other apps besides TripIt that'll do the same thing. I just don't know about those. So that's another thing you can do to help you get through the airport faster. Okay, you guys, so that's all my tips and tricks on how to get through the airport faster. So I hope you can use some of these things that I said in this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.